Hello students, welcome to a lesson through the virtual training center of the Brihan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika. My name is Shraddha teacher, and in this lockdown period, since we are not able to go to school children, we will be doing many lessons here online through the virtual class. So come on, let's proceed to our lesson for today.
Now the lesson that we are going to do today children is related to time and it is related to history. And what is the name of the lesson? It is history and concept of time. Now this lesson children is a second lesson in your EVS 2 textbook. So let us try and see, or just let us try and recall for a minute what we learned in lesson number 1. In lesson number 1 we learned about what is history. We saw that history is a science that tells us about the events in the past. Then we also talked about the scientific method of history. We talked about history and us. That is, what is our connection, what is the connection of our life with history. And we also talked about the past and the future. Now in this particular chapter children, chapter number 2, we are going to talk about history. And we already know that history is about the past. We already know that history helps us, why we should learn history, all these things we know. In this lesson, we are going to connect history with the concept of time. Okay. Now, when we say concept of time, what does time mean to us? When we say time, we always think about the clock. We always think about the watch that we wear. We always think about going to school, isn't it? We think about getting up in the morning. We think about watching TV. So we associate time to so many different things in our life. But in this particular lesson, we are going to talk about how this time is divided. Okay, how do we understand time? We understand time by putting it in different divisions or by dividing time. Okay, and how do we divide time? Let's see how we divide time. We divide time into seconds, and from seconds it becomes a bigger unit. Then we call it minutes. From minutes it becomes an even bigger unit, and then we call it hours, and many hours together they form the day. Okay, so this way, and days they form weeks, and weeks they form months, and so on and so forth. So this is what we are going to learn about time. But we will also see how and why these divisions came about. How do we say that this is a day, this is night? So what causes a day and night? And so many different interesting things we are going to learn in this particular lesson. So let us start by understanding about time, children. The most important thing that you will understand about time is that time is a continuous process. Okay, this is the most important thing that we should keep in our mind when we talk about time. Time and tide, they don't wait for anyone. This is what is said. All right, that means you cannot stop time. Your watch might stop, your clock might stop. You might just sit and not do anything, but time will keep moving. Time is a continuous process. Okay, you cannot turn back time also. You cannot go into the rewind mode also. So then how do you learn about this time? If it is a continuous process, then how will you put it into divisions? So what we did was we started dividing time to understand the time better. Now why do we need to understand time when we are learning about history? Because we understood that history is about the past, isn't it? So that means when you want to understand something which has happened into the past, you should go to yesterday, you should go to last week, you should go to last year, isn't it? So that is why it is very important for us to understand how time is divided. So come on, let's see how time is divided, or what is the division of time. So time is basically divided as day and night. When we divide time, This is the basic divisions of time, day and night. Of course, we will see what are seconds, what are minutes also later. But remember, basically, time is divided into daytime and night time. Look at this image carefully. What can you see? During the day, you can see a lot of light. The situation is the same in both the pictures, isn't it? In day picture also, you can see a man standing wearing a black coat. In the picture for the night also, you can see a man standing wearing a black coat. There is the same board, but there is a lot of difference in the picture. See, during daytime, what can you see? You can see everything clearly and properly. Alright? Because there is a sun shining in the sky. You cannot see the sun because it is very bright. Okay? But because of the light, you know that it is sunlight. Look at the night time. Can you see the sun? No. You can still see things around. Why is that? That is because we have put on artificial light. Okay? Electricity is giving us light there. You can see one more difference. During the daytime, you will not see stars in the sky. But during the night time, you will see a lot of stars in the sky. Okay, sun is also a star. We have been learning about that also. But during the night time, we do not see the sun in the sky. Okay, children? So now let us see why and how this day and night came to be. So see once again, see this is day, night. The day you see the sun, the night you see the stars and the moon. Alright, day and night. Okay, so this is an image which shows how day and night happens. Now why does it happen? What causes day and night? So you all know we live on this planet Earth. Okay, and Earth is part of the solar system, and our Earth keeps on moving continuously, and that is called as rotation. So the day and the night is caused due to the rotation of the Earth. See carefully, see how this part is coming into the light and then it is passing away. It is going away from the light. So what light is this? From where is it getting light? It is getting light from the sun. See, this is how Earth rotates continuously on its axis. What is the axis? This line that you can see, look at the arrow on your screen. This line that you can see here, that is the axis of the Earth. And the Earth is going round, round, round. That is called as the rotation of the Earth. Okay. Along with rotation, the Earth revolves around the sun also. So see here the Earth going round and round the sun now. So what does the Earth get from the sun then? The Earth gets a lot of sunlight from the sun because the sun has got its own light, isn't it? So when the Earth is going round and round the sun, it takes a lot of light from the sun. And then we have day and we have night. Why do we have day and night? Because the Earth gets light from the sun and the Earth goes round and round itself and round the sun. To make the idea more clear to you, see this image. Can you see the sun here? See, this is the sun. Okay. Can you see the light rays falling on the Earth? These are all the sun rays. The light of the sun is falling on the Earth. But the Earth is rotating. That is why half of the part of the Earth which is in front of the sun, which is getting the light of the sun, there it is daytime. And the remaining half, that is the other side, can you see? There is no light here at all. The sunlight is not able to reach here, isn't it? That is why it is very dark, and then we call it as the night time. So this is how day and night occurs on the Earth. But I will show you more images so that you will be able to understand this better. So how much time does the Earth take to complete this one rotation? See, Once it goes around, let me show you. See, one chakkar, one round is called as one rotation. And the earth, it takes 24 hours to complete one rotation. Okay, so in this 24 hours, half of the time is day and the remaining half of the time is night. Isn't it? Very simple. Let us see some more images. So when the sun rises in the morning, when you get up in the morning, when the sun rises, we say it is morning, or we say it is dawn. D-A-W-N, dawn. Okay? And when the sun sets in the evening, when the night starts, okay, we say it is dusk. D-U-S-K, dusk. Alright, so then how do we calculate day? Sunrise to sunset. See, sun is rising, 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 rising. Now it will set, 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 set. Now you will see it coming down. So sunrise to sunset, we will call it as daytime. See how it is rising, na? Dawn. It was dawn. It has gone up, 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 up. And now it will start coming down, down, down. Can you see? It is coming down. And now it is dusk. Okay? So from dawn to dusk, from morning to evening, we say it is daytime. And from night, that is sunset, to sunrise, evening to morning, we say it is night time. Dusk to dawn is night time. Okay, children? So this is how, see, this is a moving image. Now you will see day happening. See here, this part, it is day, and then it goes into the night, then it again comes in front of the sun. Again we have day here. See, day, then it goes behind, it becomes night. Okay, so this is a moving image. Let me show you one more moving image so you will be very clear. See, okay, so this is how day and night happens on the surface of the earth. If you remember what we were doing last time in EVS, you will remember that we were doing standard 5th EVS, and we were doing the lesson history and the concept of time. This is lesson number 2 from your textbook, isn't it? Now we did part 1 of the lesson last time. We talked about day, we talked about night, we talked about rotation, etc. Now in this particular part of the lesson, we will be doing part 2. That is, we will see what is the measurement of time, how it is done, what are the various methods for measuring time. We will also talk in short about the various historic periods, and we will also talk about the scientific methods of measuring time. That is, methods which are called as the dating methods. Okay, so there is a lot that we have to do today. My name is Shraddha teacher, and come on, let's learn this beautiful lesson together here through the virtual class. So this we did last time, children. We know about what is day, and we saw in detail about how night is caused and about the rotation of the earth and so many other things. So we will not be repeating this again today. Let us straight away go and let's see how these days are clubbed together. 7 days are clubbed together, and then we call it as a week. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, which are the 7 days of a week. Now we also talked about what a fortnight is. So a period of 2 weeks, or we can say 14 days, is counted as a fortnight. Alright, and then we saw that such weeks and fortnights together are clubbed together, and then we have 12 months of the year. So we have January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November and December. Now the 12 months of the year, the days of the week, etc. We need not waste much time on them because you already know all this, isn't it? So now let us talk about a new thing, that is, let us talk about how time is divided into different units. Because time has to be divided into different units, children, because in the first lesson we saw that time is a continuous process. That is, it doesn't stop, it doesn't wait for anyone. So we have to have some way of measuring time, isn't it? So we have the unilinear division of time. Let us see what the unilinear division of time is, and let us start from the smallest unit. Now what is unit? Now see, when your mummy sends you to the market to buy onions, okay, or to buy tomatoes, she tells you bring 1 kg of onions or bring 1 kilo of tomatoes, isn't it? So that is when you're using something for measurement, when you're weighing something, then the unit is a kg, that is kilograms or grams or milligrams, etc. In the same way, time is also measured in various ways, in various units. So let us look at what the units of time are. So we have seconds as the basic unit of time, smallest unit of time, seconds. So 60 seconds together, they form 1 minute. Alright, 60 minutes together, it forms 1 hour. 24 hours together forms 1 day. 7 days together forms a week. 52 weeks put together is 1 year. Now for the year, we can also, you can measure year not only in weeks and days, but you can also measure year in months, as we know, isn't it? So 1 year is 52 weeks, we can say. It is also equal to 12 months, alright? Or we can also say it is equal to 365 days. So this, children, are the various units of time. You have minute, hour, day, week and year, which are the units of measurement of time. Alright, let us see once again another interesting picture here. So these are the minutes, 60 seconds, which goes on to make 1 minute. Alright, and then you will see that 60 such minutes, it makes an hour. Okay, so on this clock, can you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right up to 60. So 60 minutes make 1 hour. And then you have 24 hours, 24 hours, which makes a day. Alright, so the clock goes round twice, and then you have a day. So this is how time is measured. Alright, and now let's see the other measurements of time. So just now we talked about seconds up to year. Let's go a little bit further here, but we will still start talking with seconds. So you have seconds, minutes, hour, day, week, fortnight. 2 weeks together is 1 fortnight. Then you have month and you have year. We talked about the measurement of time till here. Beyond this now, we have century and we have millennium. Okay, and we also have a term called as a decade. I will tell you what that is. So these are all the units, as we know, which are used for measurement of time. Alright, now let us go and see which are the instruments which we use, or which is the way in which we keep time. So we use a watch or a clock to keep time, and we also use these kind of calendars to keep time. So you have one new calendar each year, isn't it? So this is about, in short, how you measure time, the units that you use and the instruments or the methods that you use in order to measure time and also keep time. manage time. Okay, so I told you there are some new concepts also here. So the concept of decade is one new concept. We know about years, but now years are also again clubbed together, taken together and given new names. So 10 years, when they are taken together, a period of 10 years is called as a decade. Okay, and a period of 100 years is called as a century. Now we know about century, isn't it? Because we all love to watch cricket. So we know that century means 100. So in the same way, for year also, 100 years means a century. And then we have 1,000 years, which is a millennium. So these are some new terms for you children. Year to we all know. So a decade, a century and a millennium. Decade is 10 years, century is 100 years and millennium is 1,000 years. Okay, let's move on and let's come to the next point in our textbook, that is about the various eras or the various historical periods. So the most common thing that we learn today about time is how time is calculated, and time is calculated according to various eras. Now the most common of them all is the common era or the Christian era. So let us see what the Christian era means. So we all know about the founder of Christianity, Jesus Christ. So when Jesus Christ was born, the birth of Jesus Christ marked the beginning of the Christian era. Okay, when Jesus Christ was born, we called it as the beginning, that particular year, we called it as the beginning of the Christian era. Okay, so whatever happened before the birth of Christ, before Jesus Christ was born, whatever things have happened in history are called as BCE, that is before the birth of Christ or before the common era. And whatever things happened after the birth of Christ, we call it as the CE or the common era, and we also call it as the AD, the same things. These are the same things, only names are different. So we say common era or we say AD, that is Anno Domini, which means the year of the Lord. Alright, so this is the most common measurement that we are using nowadays as far as time is concerned in today's times. Okay, we talk about the common era, that is BCE, or we talk about the era or the time as measured related to the birth of Jesus Christ. So when Jesus Christ was born, we had a new era called as the common era or the Christian era. Okay, so most of the calendars that we use children today is based on the Christian era. Okay, that is why we are looking at this in the beginning. So most of the common calendars that we use today is based on the Christian era. Now let us see how the Christian era is written or how it is shown or interpreted. So in the Christian era we have BC and we have AD. Okay, so what is BC and what is AD? So look here, this particular year is AD 1. That means this is the year when Jesus Christ was born. Okay, AD 1. And whatever happened before the birth of Jesus Christ is BC, that is before Christ, BC. And whatever happened after the birth of Jesus Christ is AD, or it is Anno Domini, as I told you, in the year of the Lord. Okay, so this is how time is calculated. One very important thing that you have to remember here is before Christ the order goes in reverse. Okay, you calculate the years in reverse. 1,000 years before the birth of Christ, 2,000 years before the birth of Christ, etc. So this is how we can make a timeline as far as the Christian era is concerned. Remember, AD 1 is when Jesus Christ was born. Before that is BC, and after that is AD. See here? And this, children, is also called as the Gregorian calendar. This is just one additional piece of information for you. Okay, it is not there in the textbook, but it is a point of general knowledge. It is called as the Gregorian calendar, BC and AD, the most commonly used calendar. Look here in this picture, you will see the baby Jesus in the middle, and starting from 1 to 99. See, it is going in the reverse, isn't it? 1 to 99 in reverse is BC, and 1 to 99 forward is AD. Now, very soon in mathematics also, you will be learning about the number line. You will be learning how zero is in the center, and then you have minus figures to one side and plus figures to the other side. So when you learn that, you will be able to associate this idea and understand it better. This is just one way, children, of calculating time. One of the methods, one of the event which is taken into consideration here. What is the event? It is the event of the birth of Jesus Christ. There are many such more events, okay, from where we have started calculating different eras. For example, one such event is the coronation of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. So when Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj was coronated, that is when he was declared as a king, okay, from there was a new era which was called as the Rajyabhishek Shaka. Alright, Rajyabhishek means coronation. So the coronation, just like the birth of Shivaji Maharaj was important, birth of Jesus Christ was important, in the same way, the birth of the coronation of Shivaji Maharaj was taken as a very important event, and from here a new, you can say, calendar was begun, and it was the Rajyabhishek Shaka. Okay, we also have another Shaka called as the Shalivahana Shaka. Now, Shalivahana is a very legendary ruler of ancient India, and he ruled over an area called as the Pratisthana, which is the current day Paitan in Maharashtra. So, the birth of, you can say, King Shalivahana also started a new era called as the Shalivahana Shaka. You also have a similar era called as the Vikram Samvat, which was commemorated in the memory of King Vikramaditya. Okay, so there are various eras which people followed in various parts of the world, but like I told you, the Christian era or the common era is the basis for today's calendars, and these calendars are followed worldwide by all people, isn't it? So that is why it is called as common. Now this was about Shivaji Maharaj and about King Shalivahana and King Vikramaditya. Now there is a different calendar which our Muslim brothers and sisters follow, and that is called as the Islamic calendar. It is also called as the Hijri era. Okay. Now why was this Hijri era? How did it start? It marked the migration of the founder of Islam, that is Prophet Muhammad. It marked the migration of Prophet Muhammad from Mecca to Medina, and that is the Hijri era or the Hijri calendar, which is followed by our Muslim brethren. Now, our Parsi friends, you can say, they follow the Shahanshahi era, the Parsi community. Alright, so these are all the different kind of calendars which are followed by different people. So these, you can say, are various historical periods in history. Now history is again divided, children, into two main periods. Alright, so history, when you talk about history, these were all the eras and shakas which we use for measuring time. When you talk about periods in history or the divisions of history, history is divided into two main periods. One is prehistory. Prehistory began with writing, or when writing started. There the second phase of history began, and till the time people started writing, whatever happened was prehistory. So this was 3 million years before the birth of Christ to 3000 years before the birth of Christ. So when the history started when there was 3000 years remaining for Jesus Christ to be born. All right. And in prehistory, we have how man used fire, how man started agriculture, etc. And we talk about the Paleolithic man, the Neolithic man, etc. in prehistory. Now these words are big, I know, for you, but you have to study it in the textbook this year as part of your EVS 2 syllabus. Okay. Now the second part of history, children, is history as we know it now. So 3000 years before Jesus Christ was born up till now is history. Alright, so we have ancient history, we have medieval history, we have modern history, and even the things which are happening today. Yesterday things which have happened are also part of contemporary history. Alright, so this is how, these are the main divisions of history, you can say. Let us try and understand them once again. So the two periods of history are the prehistoric era, that is the time before history. Prehistory means time before history. Okay, and here there were no written records which were available. Nothing was written because people did not know how to write. So no written records of prehistory is available with us. And then we have the post-historic period where we have written records and people knew how to write, so written records are available, and the medieval age, modern age, etc. are all parts of post-historic era. So these are two things, children, about the various historical periods. Now how do you know how old a thing is? Okay, how do you know? When you talk about something which you get from history, how do you decide whether it belongs to prehistoric era or post-historic era? So you have various methods which scientists use, which are called as the dating techniques. And one such method is the carbon analysis technique. Okay, now there is carbon in our body. Alright, we are all human beings, whether we are living things, whether we are human beings, whether we are animals, whether it is trees. So all living things have an amount of carbon in their body. And after we die, this carbon starts becoming lesser and lesser and lesser. So you can see in the picture here, see this much is the amount of carbon at the time of our death in our body. Okay. As the years pass, the amount of carbon starts getting lesser and lesser and lesser. So when scientists study the body or the bones of the things which they find, and they find out how much amount of carbon is there, they are able to understand how old that bone is. Okay, one more clear picture for this. See, animals and plants, they all have carbon inside them. When an animal or a plant dies, see, you can see 100% carbon is there in their body. Whatever amount of carbon is there, that is, whatever is there in their body. As the years pass, this carbon goes on reducing. See, from 100% it becomes 50%, from there it becomes 25%, and then it goes on reducing. That is how scientists come to know how old this particular thing is which we have found. Alright, there is another dating technique in your textbook which is called as dendrochronology. Dendrochronology means finding out how old a tree is. Okay, see, it is a way in which you find out how aged or how old a tree is. It is also called as a tree ring dating. When you cut the trunk of a tree, children, you will be able to see such rings in the tree. So scientists, what they do, they study the rings, they count the number of rings, and then they come to a conclusion that yes, the tree is so many years old. Alright, so we saw how time happens, how day and night happens. Now, 7 such days together, they form a week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Alright, and 2 such weeks together, they form a fortnight. And then how the fortnight becomes a month and how the month becomes a year, we will learn in the second part of this lesson next time.
So children, wasn't that a wonderful video? And did you enjoy watching it? So if you want to watch more such videos in future, then please like this video and also subscribe to our channel, the MCGM Portal for Education, and also hit the bell button so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video here. Thank you so much for now. Let's meet again soon.